Alright, today we're going to be looking at the steps in the long division process. So to start off with, we're going to look at the problem 345 divided by 3. Remember, over to the side of your paper, make your little check off of does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers so that you can mark off each time you complete a step. Now, let's look to see, in our first step of our division process, if the 3 will divide into the 300ths. And yes, 3 will divide into 3 one time. So you just completed the first step of division. Next, you're going to multiply. You're going to multiply what you just divided by the divisor. And then you're going to subtract. When you subtract, you're checking to see how many pieces you have left over out of what you divided into. And here you see you have no pieces left. So in other words, your 0 is smaller than your divisor, so you have divided all you could divide out of the 3. When you said 3 will go into 3 one time. So you have just completed the check step. Next, you're going to look to see if there's anything you can bring down. And yes, you can bring down the 4. Remember, whenever you bring down a number, that immediately tells you that the whole process starts over again. So we're back at the beginning. This time we've moved now and we're in the 4th column. We've already taken care of the first column. Now we're dealing with the 4. Now 3 will go into 4 one time. So there's your divide. You multiply. 1 times 3 is 3. You subtract. 4 subtract 3 is 1. Now you check, is that 1 smaller than the 3? And yes, it is. So you divided all you could out of that 4 when you said 3 will go into 4 one time. Now you're going to look again to see if you can bring down, and you still have one more place that needs an answer, so you can bring down this 5. And remember, whenever you bring down, the whole process starts over again. 3 will go into 15 5 times. Multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. Subtract. 15 subtract 15 is 0. Check. That 0 is smaller than that 3, so you divided all you could out of that 15. And then you're going to look and you have nothing else to bring down. So you're going to say your problem is finished. So you're going to put your little stop sign. So 345 divided by 3 is 115. Now, what if we have a problem like 115 divided by 6? Okay, we're still going to follow the same exact steps. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? And we're going to start out by asking, will that 6 divide into that 1? In other words, can you take this 1 and divide it into 6 pieces? And no, you cannot. So we're going to put a little X above that 1 in the hundreds column to help us remember that we've already looked to see if we can divide 6 into 1 and we couldn't. So next we're going to combine the ones in the tens place to see if we can divide 6 into 11. And yes, 6 will go into 11 and it will go one time. So we just took care of the first step, the division. Next you're going to multiply. 1 times 6 is 6. And make sure you keep everything lined up with that column that you're working on. Next, you're going to subtract. And here you can't say 1 take away 6, so you go next door and borrow. Now, 11 take away 6 is 5. And now you're going to check, is that 5 smaller than that 6? Yes. Even though it's only 1 smaller, it lets us know that all we could divide out of that 11 was one group. If we had divided 2, we know that 2 times 6 is 12, and there's no way you could say 11 subtract 12. So yes, 5 is all that is left from 6 will go into 11 one time. Now you're going to look to see if you have anything to bring down. And yes, you have a 5 to bring down. And we all know that once you do the bring down process, the whole process starts right back over. So 6 will divide into 55 9 times. Next you multiply. 9 times 6 is 54. Now you're going to keep following those same exact steps. Subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1, and 5 minus 5 is 0. Then you're going to check, is that 1 smaller than that 6? Yes, it is. So you divided all you could out of that 55. And then you're going to look to see if there's anything left to bring down. No, there is not. Every place has been filled in your answer. And you have 1 remaining. In other words, you were able to make 19 groups of 6, and then you had 1 little piece left that was not able to make it into a group. So there is your answer, 19 remainder 1.